Liberalism is an ideology based on the defense of individual freedoms, equality, and free market economy. In the 17th century in England, it was based on the ideas of John Locke. Locke's work, The Natural State of Men, defends the natural rights of individuals, namely the rights to life, liberty, and property. According to Locke, the purpose of the state is to protect these rights, and governments that violate the rights of individuals are not legitimate. In the century, liberal ideas developed further under the influence of the Age of Enlightenment. French philosopher Jean-Jacques Rousseau's The Social Contract emphasizes the importance of democratic governments and the social contract. Rousseau argues that a contract between free individuals forms the basis of a just society. Adam Smith's Wealth of Nations emphasizes the importance of free market economy and competition. Smith argues that the free market will lead to economic growth and prosperity. Modern applications of liberalism are concerned with democratic elections, the rule of law, and the protection of individual liberties. Liberalism equals individual liberties, equality, and a free market economy. Conservatism is an ideology that advocates the preservation of social order, traditional values, and stability. In the 18th century, especially after the French Revolution, it was systematized in England by Edmund Burke. Burke's reflections on the French Revolution emphasizes that sudden and radical changes can disrupt the social order. Burke states that the social structure develops organically over time and the importance of preserving this order. Conservatism advocates the preservation of social order and the encouragement of individual responsibility. It generally preserves elements such as traditional social structures, family values, and religious norms. Economically, it favors a free market economy while taking a cautious approach to social reforms. Benjamin Disraeli in the UK in the 20th century aimed to achieve social stability through social and economic policies. Disraeli's consolidation policies aimed to keep different segments of society together and maintain social stability. In this century, leaders such as Ronald Reagan and Margaret Thatcher promoted a free market economy and reduced state intervention through neoliberal policies. Conservatism equals preservation of social order, traditional values, and stability. Socialism is an ideology that emphasizes economic equality and collective ownership. In the 19th century, it was shaped by the ideas of Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels. Marx and Engels' Communist Manifesto criticizes the class conflicts and exploitation of workers in the capitalist system. According to Marx, the contradictions and injustices of the capitalist system would eventually result in a socialist revolution. Marx's Capital details the dynamics of the capitalist economy and the class struggle. Socialism aims to eliminate economic inequalities through state intervention and public ownership. Socialist ideals were implemented in the Soviet Union under Vladimir Lenin and Joseph Stalin. Lenin's What is to be Done outlined the necessary steps for a socialist revolution. Modern implementations of socialism promote economic equality and social welfare through social democratic reforms. Many social democratic parties in Europe have implemented socialist principles in democratic ways. Socialism equals economic equality and collective property. Communism is a radical ideology that aims for a classless and private property-free society. The theories of Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels formed the foundations of communism. Marx's Communist Manifesto and Capital describe the ideal form of communist society and the class struggle. Communism advocates the collective ownership of all means of production by society and the abolition of private property. Communist society is based on equality and common ownership. This ideology was implemented in the Soviet Union by Vladimir Lenin and Joseph Stalin. Under Stalin, communism was generally realized through authoritarian rule and large-scale state intervention. Mao Zedong's practices in China demonstrated an approach towards the radical realization of communist ideals. Communism equals society without classes and private property. Anarchism is an ideology that rejects state and hierarchical structures, advocating for a society without rulers. In the 19th century, Pierre-Joseph Proudhon and Mikhail Bakunin were key figures in developing anarchist thought. Proudhon's Property is Theft argues that private property generates social inequality and restricts personal freedom. Bakunin's The Destruction of the State promotes revolutionary actions to abolish the state and achieve social equality. Anarchism is divided into individualist, which focuses on personal freedom, and collectivist, which emphasizes social ownership and workers' control. Both branches aim for a stateless and hierarchy-free society. Anarchism equals a stateless and hierarchy-free society. Fascism, developed by Benito Mussolini in the early 20th century, advocates for a strong centralized state and authoritarian rule. Mussolini's fascism outlines principles of a centralized government and extensive state control, emphasizing nationalism and militarism. Adolf Hitler's Mein Kampf extended these ideas with extreme nationalism and anti-Semitism. Fascism is associated with totalitarian regimes that limit individual rights and suppress dissent, leading to significant human rights violations, as seen in Nazi Germany during World War II. Fascism equals authoritarian rule and nationalism. Liberal democracy is a system that combines individual freedoms with democratic governance. It emerged in 19th century Britain and the US, integrating liberal ideas with democratic institutions. John Stuart Mill's On Liberty highlights the importance of protecting individual freedoms for societal progress. This system supports democratic elections, the rule of law, and a free market economy. Modern liberal democracies vary but generally include democratic elections, protection of human rights, and a free press. Social democratic reforms in Europe illustrate how liberal democracy can incorporate social welfare and equality. Liberal democracy equals individual liberties, democratic elections, and the rule of law. Social democracy blends elements of socialism with liberalism, emerging in 19th century Europe. It advocates for economic equality while maintaining a free market economy. Edward Bernstein's Socialism and Direct Action supports achieving socialist reforms through democratic means. Social democracy promotes a welfare state and policies to reduce economic inequality and enhance social justice. It has significantly influenced European policies, leading to the establishment of welfare systems and social equity measures. Social democracy equals economic equality and social welfare combined with a free market economy. Nationalism emphasizes national identity, sovereignty, and independence. In the 19th century, Johann Gottfried Herder's The Souls of Nations articulated the importance of preserving cultural and linguistic identity. Nationalism seeks to strengthen national unity and support movements for national independence. It has been instrumental in the formation of nation-states and the assertion of national sovereignty throughout history. Nationalism equals national identity, sovereignty, and independence. Ecological policies focus on environmental protection and sustainability, gaining importance in the 20th century. Rachel Carson's Silent Spring exposed the dangers of pesticides and significantly raised ecological awareness. These policies advocate for the conservation of natural resources and environmentally friendly practices, addressing issues such as global warming, pollution, and biodiversity protection. They have led to reforms aimed at achieving sustainable development and protecting the environment. Ecological policies equals environmental protection and sustainability. Thank you for watching so far. If you enjoyed this content, please like this video and subscribe to my channel to be notified of our future videos.